Good morning, beautiful. Welcome again to another Thursday Talk. I'm Suzanna Kaye, and today we have a special guest with us, Sherry Jibb. I'll tell you more about her in just a minute, but we are talking about how to be happy and healthy in midlife. So if you are in midlife and looking for ways to improve your life and be happier and healthier, this is the place for you. All right. So really quickly, this is Sherry Jibb. Sherry Jibb is passionate about working with women in midlife to help them create the healthiest version of themselves. She uses a foundational approach built on moving, breathing, and thinking in a way that helps women experience a stronger, mobile body, calmer mind, and positive mindset. Sounds just like what we talk about all the time, doesn't it? I love it. She lives, loves, and laughs in Northern Ontario, Canada. I love our Canadians. And she's an experienced registered yoga teacher, certified Yin Yoga teacher, which is my favorite type of yoga, movement educator in Pilates, mat, and reformer, Reiki practitioner, crystal Reiki practitioner, and a personal trainer with over 25 years experience. She owns the Healing Place virtual and in-person studio and is the pioneer of the online mindful midlife, that's hard to say, program for women. So you'll have to check her out online, but today we are so blessed to have her here with us. Welcome, Sherry Jibb.
Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be here. I was super excited about this and, just sharing the message and chatting with you, and it's going to be fun.
I'm so excited. Sherry and I were chatting before we hit the button to go live, and she's got some great things to say. I can't wait to share with you. As you hop on, say hi in the chat and let me know who you are and where you're joining us from. I see lovely Marie is here. You are here early. I love it. She says, good morning to Susanna and all my beautiful family. Blessings with so much love from Alaska. And she says, welcome to Sherry.
Thank
Karen's
you.
here. Welcome, Karen and Sally. Hi, Sally. Great to have you with us.
Hello, hello.
All right. Well, Sherry, the reason that I invited Sherry, aside from the fact that she's just an awesome human being, is because she has a free summit coming up. It's pre-recorded interviews with a ton of different women from all over the world with different specialties that are talking about how to be happy and healthy in midlife. And she had invited me to be one of the speakers. So if you wanted to check out, it's a free summit. You can register for free. The link is in the video description for this video. And it starts September 8th. It runs the 8th through 12th. So just a heads up, make sure to join the summit. But today, Sherry is going to share some of her top tips for being happy and healthy in midlife. So Sherry, first off, what led you to become so passionate about midlife and being happy and healthy in midlife in particular?
Well, I've been in the health and wellness business since 1996. And as I entered my midlife years and actually went into menopause, it was surgically induced menopause. And I was looking for support. I was looking for help. The way I had done things needed to change just from an energy level perspective. And I couldn't find what I was looking for. Yeah. I really couldn't. And then when COVID hit, I thought we were going to be closed down for a couple of weeks, as we all did, right? And so I decided, okay, as a teacher, I'm going to go online and I'm going to do some classes for me over the next couple of weeks because I've got this time off. And I found I wasn't represented. Yeah. My body type wasn't represented. My age was not represented. And I mean, I have been the 20-year-old in the crop top in human pretzel form. I have been. And, but I'm not now. I'm 56. And honestly, if I saw one more crop top, I was going to lose it. So I reached out to my people. I had a brick and mortar studio at that time. And I reached out to my people and said, all right, I need motivation. You need motivation. I was really worried too, because stress level anxiety was such a big thing at that time and still is. And I said, all right, we're going to jump on Zoom and here it is and let's give it a go. And over 2 years later, here we are still. And it was great.
That's amazing. It's so needed. As somebody who has just gone into menopause herself and, was not ready for this at all. It was, I thought that I had more time, but nope. And which is fine. I'm loving this new change in life in a way of, how I can evolve into some new chapter, but it's not easy. Everything changes. How my body reacts changes, my energy, irritability, the different things that I need now are completely different. So this is such a needed topic because it's something I also did not find a whole lot of information about besides, the WebMD articles on, the top 10 supplements to take. And even my husband, he was amazed the other day. He looked up, menopause and all these different things about it. And he's like, all of that happens? I'm like, yes. Why do you think I'm cranky?
Exactly. Yeah. We're in the cocoon, right? We're gonna awaken and we're gonna come into the butterfly, but we're in the heat of the cocoon, the messy middle right there.
Right. Breaking out of that cocoon is work.
That it is.
But I love that. I love that metaphor or the analogy, I guess, of the cocoon, though. It's so true. It's kind of getting through this and figuring out the new way of being. And that includes new ways of taking care of ourselves and new ways of thinking, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. I know for me, I can't take on as much as I used to be able to.
That's right.
And that's one of the things that was really hard for me. So what you teach is a whole lot of, correct me if I'm wrong, breath work, body work, and physical health along with mental health, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the key things that you feel that as we are in this cocoon and breaking out as a butterfly stage, what are the things that are the most important for us to help transition better?
One of the first things that I love to work with women on is movement, because movement can change at this stage in your life. I know that it did for me. I went from teaching 12 years of Ashtanga yoga, which is a very physical sweat yoga, to not really being able to do that during my menopause and having to look at what else in yoga is available. And of course there is tons, but I had never looked that way. Right. And so your body, it changes and your energy levels change. And so learning to work with the body that you have that day, not the body you had yesterday, not the body you had 5 years ago, not the 20-year-old body, but when you got out of bed this morning, what is this body feel
not
like
the body
today?
you wish you had.
Exactly. And really understanding that small steps create big change here. And that is really huge.
And that's one thing that we talk about all the time is breaking things into small steps, because it's a universal concept. It's not just in organizing and productivity, right? And small steps for things like yoga and movement and breath work and health, like mental health as well. So for those who don't know about the different types of yoga, I don't want to go into the specifics about the different types, but a lot of times we think about yoga as, holding these positions for a couple minutes and moving around a lot more on a mat. But I know for me, Yin Yoga is the center of my mental well-being. And it requires very little movement, which is what I need. It's stretching. But for those of us who might not be that 20-year-old vigor and being able to do all the moving around as much, what do you suggest as far as starting with yoga, and maybe what type of yoga might be best for that?
Well, there's, you have Hatha yoga, which is an umbrella for a lot of different yogas. Okay. You have Yin Yoga, and I actually suggest you start small. Okay. You start small. And, so in the yoga that I teach online in my virtual studio, I'll offer knee options, chair options, different options to work with the body you have. and to make it doable. So on my YouTube channel, I have a whole bunch of, little ones that are under 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Right. And
Yeah.
just try it. But essentially what you want to do is connect to your body, because really that's what yoga is, right? We want to connect, right, to our bodies. We want to see where our bodies are at. And most of all, we want to nurture and nourish our bodies in this stage. And like yin yoga. So I actually didn't come into yin yoga till midlife for sure. And if you'd asked me about yin yoga 20 years ago, I'd have told you were crazy. But now I love yin yoga. I mean, not only does it mobilize joints, it helps make space in the joints, but it's a very mindful practice. And really what yin yoga does is teaches us how to be in uncomfortable without reaction. And let's face it, menopause can be exactly that.
It's 1,000% that.
Right.
It's all about being uncomfortable and working through it and accepting it. And
that's right. And not reacting
right
to what you're feeling.
Right. And one of the things with me, I know your video froze a little bit, but I'm sure it'll come back in a second. But for me with yin yoga, instead of moving around a lot and doing all these different poses, you're holding one pose for a long period of time. So it helps with the flexibility. It helps with, it's kind of like a meditation.
Oh, we're back.
Yep. But for me, the yin yoga is kind of like a meditation. I can focus on my breath. I can let my brain relax from the crazy hamster wheel that it is for the whole day. And it gives me that chance to not only stretch my body, so my legs and arms will move a little bit better and I won't groan and crack as much as I usually do when I reach down for a pot in the kitchen. But also, I get that renewed energy from the oxygen and I get that rest and clarity of my mind again. So
exactly. Yeah.
It's not about, weight loss or just trying to be the most flexible person in the class. It's about learning yourself, I feel like.
It's really about getting to know yourself. And as you're, I've been in some poses 15 to 20 minutes and it just, when you think it's released and it's let go and here comes some more and here comes some more. And it's really fascinating because our tissues hold. And in our midlife is a time when we're trying to rid ourselves of all those behavior patterns, all those things that no longer serve us. Yeah. Right. If we're going to awaken and step into the healthiest version of ourselves, we got to let go of what we're dragging behind.
It's so true. So let me know in the comments if any of this, if this resonates with you. Do you do yoga? Is this something that you've thought about? Or what do you do for breath and movement and all of that great, just the mental relaxation that we need? Really quickly in the comments, I want to say hi to Razila. She says, good morning from New York. Hello, Susanna, Sherry, and listening family. She says, great topic this morning. Menopause definitely requires a new way of thinking and being as our bodies change to its next stage. That is so true. So true. And I see like Linda's here and Paula and Lynn. I won't say hi to everybody because there's so many amazing people on here, but Terry and Wendy and Laurel, it's great to see all of you here. Welcome, welcome. So another thing that we were talking about before we hit the button to go live that I thought was such a great connection between organizing and just physical and mental health was how perfectionism can hold us back from starting a practice, whether it's yoga or simply meditating or breath work or taking a walk around the block or doing something better for our bodies. So what I find is a lot of times we come at these new ways of adding a healthy habit to our life and we think we need to dedicate, an hour a day at the same time every day and have the right equipment and have exactly the right areas set up in our homes and be dedicated and, jump in like as an expert from the beginning. But you were saying that we don't have to do that we can break it down into small steps. So how would you recommend we get started without all the pressure that we put on ourselves to jump in and make it a big thing?
And make it complicated, right?
Yeah, so complicated.
This is what I hear. And so, I really recommend small, little bits of movement or breath work, 5-10 minutes. I just ran a challenge back in June that was 15 self-care, 15 minutes or less a day.
Wow.
And, it worked beautiful. So there was breath work, but, we don't have to have that perfect place to put it in. And
Yeah.
and COVID taught us that, right? Because
Yeah.
all of a
Right.
sudden we were in, and I have just a little basket back there that holds my yoga blocks and some spin discs and everything. And at first, just travel with it. And that's what told my clients. You know what? We're going to use the strap off your robe. We're going to put a towel on the floor, right? We're going to use water bottles and cans, right? And then if it's feeling good for you, because you want to explore movement that makes you feel good, because if it makes you feel good, you are going to show up again.
It's so true.
Right? If you're like, okay, movement to me is I have to do 30 lunges, and you hate lunges and your knees hate lunges, what are the chances of you showing up for that?
Yeah.
Slim to none. But finding movement that feels good for you, that the end result is feeling good. And I'll give you an example. I just worked with a client the other day, and she was taking on a walking program, and she has some weight to lose. And she was, I'm doing 4,000 steps a day. And I said, okay, is this in your walk? Yes. Okay. And what were you doing before you started that? Right? And she'd go for a week and a half, and then she'd stop again. Of course, because her knees hurt, her hips hurt. And I said to her, why don't we just start with 1,000 on the walk?
Yeah.
Like that's okay. 1,000 3 times a week. Let's let our tendons adjust to the movement, right? This is not just, I can't do this because my mind is not connected. There's a lot of change that happens in the physical body when we take on a movement practice.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to allow for that to happen. We're building a foundation, right? So to come right from nothing to a 25, 30-minute HIIT program where you feel like you're going to vomit is not a positive experience for the brain.
No.
And when you're in your menopausal years, most times you don't have the energy for that.
No, right? And we're all so busy too.
That's right.
In organizing, we talk about how you break down projects into smaller steps, because finding the hour or the 2 hours where you have both the mental energy, the physical energy, and the time is next to impossible. But you can find 5 or 10 minutes. So it's the same with starting a practice where, and the practice could remain 5 or 10 minutes, right? That would still be beneficial.
Absolutely. Right. Any movement is better than no movement. But when you start to show up regularly for yourself, and you take yourself as a priority to the top of the list, and you say, all right, I got 5 minutes to do this moving. I got 5 minutes to do this breath work. And I'm going to add 2 minutes to journal, because really the whole recipe lies in journaling, right? This is where we get the keys of what works for us, and the recipe for how we're changing and what is working for us now that maybe wasn't working before. Because there's a grieving process, right, that we go through, what we could do then and what we feel is just, we don't have the energy for right now.
Right.
As our bodies are
changing. On those yoga pants and see that, wow, this is a much larger size and my hips are bigger,
Exactly.
Touch my toes the way that I could. And
exactly. But you can do all that. And the more times you show up for yourself, then all of a sudden you're going to start making better food choices.
Yeah.
Right? You'll start including a little bit more relaxation. You'll notice when you're tired and you need to rest, or you need some restorative yoga poses. And restorative yoga poses are yoga poses that are rest while awake, which I found right in the heat of hot flashes in the middle of the night and not sleeping well.
Yeah.
That restorative yoga worked really, really well for me. things like legs up the wall, child's pose, but then you just tuck a nice big pillow under there in child's pose, and you just let yourself rest. And this will help engage your parasympathetic nervous system so you'll relax, right?
Well, the nice thing is that gives your brain a new focus, right? Because a lot of times when we're stuck in that middle of the night, awake, hot flash, then we're so focused on the fact that we want to be sleeping and we're not sleeping and focusing on getting back to sleep that we can't get back to sleep. But a restorative yoga pose, when your purpose is then not to sleep, but just to relax and let go, I can see how that would then let your brain let go of this whole, I'm not sleeping and that makes me angry.
Well, exactly.
And get back to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how many times right in the heat of my menopause that my husband found me in my studio, legs up the wall, lying there. And he just, what are you doing? I can't sleep. Legs up the wall right now. And after a while, he just stopped coming to look for me because he knew that's where I was.
Right. My husband's going to laugh because I'm going to try this now. And
exactly.
We have a great wall in our bed. So he's probably going to,
I have had clients flip around, flip around in their bed, put their legs up the wall and just, we have to do those things for ourselves. The more we fight this, the more the suffering.
That's true. And we talk about that a lot, where procrastination is basically our brain fighting against all of these fears that we have. We have the fear of it's going to take forever. It's going to be hard work. I don't know exactly how to do it right. And it's all these same types of fears that keep us from resisting doing something like legs up the wall in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Right.
Basically, legs up the wall is when you're laying on your back and your legs are literally against the wall straight up, or even with your knees bent if you can't do straight. But it just gets that blood flowing and gives you something else to focus on mentally as well and just relax.
Yeah, and just adding a breath practice into that. I have a freebie that has that people can find. Yes.
And Paula says, I really appreciate you recognizing the grieving process in trying something new that we used to be able to do. Mind over body is huge. And sleeplessness. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up or something in the comments to let me know if you know that one, because I know for me, I know that one very, very well.
And then the anxiety level starts to come up because you're not sleeping.
Right.
And, you're dealing
at that point in time too, right? Yeah. You get stuck in this whole, when I was 25, I slept like a log and, everything's falling apart. And then you start to spiral mentally downward into that and the frustration. And it's so horrible for us.
Yeah, it is. It's really such a change. And I don't want to say I'm postmenopausal. So the awakening and the shift that I have experienced has been huge for me.
Yeah.
Would I go back into my menopausal years? No.
No, right? It's like middle school. You did it once, you survived it.
I got the medal. I'm good.
You don't want to do it again. Yes.
But just that awakening, when I turned 50, I just decided I was going to stop playing small. Yeah. I was going to let go of everything that was behind me. And when I was 55, stopped playing small again. It's just amazing how once we let that stuff go and we get to know ourselves. And you can't get to know yourself if you're not connecting to your body. Oh, hello.
Yes, someone wants it.
If you're not connecting to your body, your mind, and your spirit, and your mindset has a lot to do with that. And what we put into our mind is huge. So one of the things that I did, for instance, I went through all my social media feeds. I got rid of absolutely anything that made me feel bad about myself. Any diet pill, any Shaper Mint, anything that when I looked at it, it was like I felt a loss or I felt not good enough.
Or you feel just negative about the world as a whole, because a lot of times as our bodies seem to be falling apart, they're not falling apart, they're transitioning, but they seem to be falling apart. And we seem to be losing control and not able to do these things. Then when we see things like the news and politics and anything going on in the world where we also feel like we don't have control, it magnifies those feelings of fear and frustration that we have. So the more you can just block out all of the negativity, like add more puppies, get rid of the news.
That's exactly right.
Cleaning up
Yeah,
your social media feed is huge. It's huge. Yeah.
And get to know yourself. And one also thing that I did was I hooked up with a stylist.
Ooh, okay, that's fun.
That was super fun. And I just decided, what I wear is changing. My body has changed. I got a little bit more in my waist than I've had in decades.
Right?
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I
Right.
understand that's how my body's protecting me for bone health and estrogen. I get that.
Right.
But I also want to look and feel the best that I can for me. So I hooked up with a stylist and I did a little thing with her, and she went over my wardrobe and she picked colors and she picked styles that worked for me, and long earrings and right. And it was like a whole new world. I was like, ooh, I want to try that. Look at that.
Yeah. It's hard to figure out what fits our body when gravity's moved things further down.
Yeah.
And also who we want to be in this new phase, because not only does our body change, but mentally we change. And I know for me, every step in this process, I've stopped caring about what other people think more and more. I still care about the people, but I am stepping into myself more fiercely and more confidently as I let go of all these things that have been part of my thinking. And fashion follows that, well, how do I want to represent myself in the world? Do I want to wear some fun and daring earrings now because I don't care what people think about that? Or do I want to, wear something more flowery and frilly and be that side of me? Like, we change.
We do.
And great.
Yeah, it really adds lovely.
Yeah.
It really adds to this is your time to create and step into the person you want to be. That person you have always meant to be.
Yes. The person that we've spent our lives covering up and listening to society and changing ourselves. And now this is the part where we start to shed all of that should. My least favorite word, my people know, my least favorite word is should. Like,
it's out of my vocabulary.
It is no longer a word.
Yeah.
But all of these things we've been told that we should do, we're able to start letting go of those and be who we really are meant to be. And that's one of the huge blessings, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love. Yeah. And on Facebook, I see, hi, good to see you. And someone said, this is so helpful for me. It's helpful for me to see the connection with organizing in my life. And it's so true. When we are feeling positive about ourselves with our bodies, and we are feeling more energetic and like we can move around better and feeling better about ourselves as people, then it's easier to take those steps to let go of some of the literal physical baggage that we've been holding on to declutter, and to intentionally choose to surround ourselves with things that represent who we are versus who we were or who we think that we should be. Exactly. Which is so many things that we hold on to with organizing. And and when you're taking care of your body, even if it's just 10 minutes of breath work or starting to walk around the block, then you can really start to change your productivity and your focus and your ability to organize and your confidence and how healthy you feel. It's just amazing.
Plus, you're gonna have more energy too, right? And I want to just draw back to movement for just one more. What I really want to emphasize here is you are creating the body, that you want to work with in this next 30 years of your life. And so what do you want to be doing? Do you want to be traveling? Do you want to be, I have 9 grandchildren. I want to play, right? I want to be able to play.
I love that. Yeah.
And, here in the North, we hike, we canoe, we mountain bike, we do all those kinds of things. I still do all those things, right? And so when I'm working on my body, that's what I'm looking at,
Yeah. I
right?
love that.
And so you want a strong, mobile body,
Yes.
not to fit into your jeans, but to
Right.
keep you independent living, to keep you gardening, to keep you doing all the things that you love to do because it's your time now,
Right. And to get
right?
you with the other areas of your life that you might want to also improve,
Exactly.
you need the energy, and it's not just physical energy. You need the
No.
mental energy too. And when you are feeling healthier, you have more willpower, you have more mental energy
Yeah.
to be able to tackle. I think it was Laurel, was it, who said, I'm a procrastinator. And yeah, I think we all are. Yeah, there it is. She says, I'm a horrible procrastinator.
I was a queen. I was queen procrastinator. Yeah.
I can procrastinate with the best of them. But one of the things I find is when I am taking care of myself, even if it's only, making sure that I floss my teeth and take a walk around the block each day to get some movement in, then I'm feeling better about myself and I procrastinate less because
Yes.
I've set up
Mhm.
little tiny pieces of like basically little wins.
Yes,
So that gives me
absolutely.
that dopamine hit. That gives me more confidence because I'm like, I did this today. It might
Yeah.
just be a walk around the block, but I did it. I
Mhm.
feel better because I did it. I feel better
Mhm.
about myself. I physically feel better. So
Yeah,
then it's easier to step into something that you're not as confident about.
absolutely. Absolutely. And what I have my people do is I ask them to create movement journals.
So what
So,
all would you put in a journal? Like when you
well,
mentioned journaling before, I love
yeah,
that.
this is a specific movement journal. So what I do is I ask them to get a calendar,
Uh-huh.
just like a regular calendar. And in that calendar, I want them to write down what they do for movement. 5 minutes moving, walk 10 minutes, stretched 15 minutes, whatever it was that you did on that day. Because what happens to us is we get stuck in, I'm not doing enough. I
Yes.
haven't done enough, right? And we get into this cycle of, oh, I ate this last night and now I haven't been moving enough and,
Yeah.
I'm no good and blah, blah, blah. But when you can open it up and look at it and go, oh, hey, wait a minute. For the last 6 days, I've been showing up for myself.
Yeah.
5, 10. Oh, look, I showed up 30 minutes here. No, this thought is not true.
Right. It's like our done list. Sometimes I tell people, and to-do lists are great, but sometimes we also need a done list and write down all the things you did because so many times we do all these little things and
Mhm.
we feel like we did nothing during the day. But if you can really look and you know what? I might not have focused on what I thought I should focus on, but I did a lot. So it's not that I'm
Exactly.
lazy. It's that I
Exactly.
might have been focusing on wrong things, but I did a lot.
It
So
is the
it's the
best
same
way
thing.
to get out of your own way,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? Is a movement journal and then regular journaling. So I run a 6-month program and part of that is accountability trackers. So every week they send me a tracker with everything they have done and I have specific questions, wins, challenges, everything. And but I also have them journaling, whether it's one word, one sentence, they want to write a paragraph,
Right.
whatever.
And
But
that's right.
just
Journaling does not mean writing paragraphs and pages. It can be
not at
bullet
all.
points because somebody like me, I'm like, journaling, it's going to take forever and my hand's going to fall off. But yeah,
Yeah.
bullet points or single
And
words.
and
Or,
even just what are you grateful for?
yeah,
Start with a gratefulness journal because when
love
we
it.
open up to gratefulness, we open the window to joy,
It's so true.
right?
And
We
we feel
really
more
do.
positivity.
Exactly.
There's something about gratitude that literally opens, they've done studies on it. It
Yeah.
literally physically opens you up and you breathe better.
Yeah.
And you get more oxygen to your brain because you're breathing better and your muscles relax. So you
Mhm.
move better and have fewer joint problems. And all just from mentally opening up with a couple of gratitudes, which it just blows my mind and I love it. I love it.
I know, right? I've one thing that I give my clients is what's called a gratefulness walk. And so I started this a while ago, a few years back, and I was feeling pretty low. And so I would go out and just start reciting what I was grateful for on my walk. And at first I made it maybe 5 minutes. Now I can do easy 30 minutes. And I'm just complete reciting what I'm grateful for, what I see, who's in my life, all these different things. And by the time I come back from that walk, my vibration has elevated.
Yeah.
But in interviewing some of these brain specialists who work in cognitive aging, what they're saying is that when we practice gratefulness, the brain then starts to recognize the opportunity for grateful thoughts. And we rewire our brain. And I'm like, well, that's fascinating. They're like, well, got to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we not only control our bodies and the health of our bodies, but we truly can control our mind and how it changes and grows by what we do today in these small steps. These little tiny actions can literally rewire how your brain thinks. And
I know, right?
Our bodies and brains are just absolutely amazing and fascinating. And I can't believe how much control we truly have over it once we realize it. And with organizing, it's the same way as well. Just setting up those habits of success and beliefs.
Yeah. And I mean, and then wrapping that up, I'm just so grateful I got to that top kitchen drawer today, or I set my yoga blocks and yoga mat in the corner. And, I'm just so grateful that I showed up for myself for 5 minutes today.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Recognize what you did. So we talked about breaking these things down into small steps. Can you give us several examples of different ways? Because I know everybody has different preferences and different things that work for them. Different ways that we can start to take better care of our mental and physical selves in 5 or 10 minutes a day. What would that look like? What types of things could we incorporate?
Okay. So you could do just some small movement. Okay, for 5 minutes.
Small movement being,
well, how about I just show you?
Okay, yeah, great. Look at this. We get like a special.
I'm not in my studio and I don't have my pajama bottoms on, so we're doing well.
But she's literally showing us you can do this anywhere.
Anywhere. All right, so let's see if you can see me. I have the best service up here, so let's see if you can see me. All right, so if I'm going to have 5 minutes, I want to ground and anchor into my feet, and I just want to shake it out. And hey, if you're at home, stand up. Let's go. All right?
I'll do this
and too. I just want to feel that body move and shake a little bit. Right? Good. And then I just want to take my body weight forward into my toes and back into my heels and forward into my toes and back into my heels. I'm going to keep my toes down, but I just want to start to shift the weight back and forth. That's it. One more of each. Good. I want to take a foot, come a little wider than hip width, and I want to start to make some circles with my hips. Circles. We get really tight in the hips.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this feels good. I didn't realize how stiff I was.
Yeah, and just, adding some circles, right? The hips have eight ranges of motion. So we want to work in those ranges, right? Because we want them all to be working well for us, and we want to have that, that joint stability and flexibility, right? And the muscles around the joint. Let's do one more that way. Good. Let's go the other way now. And you'll notice a difference between sides. One side will feel maybe a little clunkier, a little stiffer than the other side. That's okay.
That's coordinated.
Yeah, we're going to do 2 more of those. And 1 more. Good. All right. Now let's just start to move the arm. And we're going to move that arm bone in the shoulder socket. I'm also a Pilates movement educator, right? And we move from the bones in Pilates. And then we're going to add the elbow. If it feels good for your shoulder, remember you always have to work with the body you showed up with today.
Right. If it's painful, don't do it.
That's right. Or decrease the range till the pain goes away. Pain is not okay. That's your body's last response to tell you something's not right.
Right.
Okay. And then I want you to add in some waist. Right? Can you add in some of those ribs and add in the arms? So now we get that fascial system. Let's go a little bit wider through the legs. Doesn't that feel good?
It does. It feels kind of like I'm swimming backwards.
Good. And let's do one more of each of those.
Nice. And as you can tell from me, you don't have to look pretty or graceful doing it.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
All right. And let's come into just hip distance apart now. And let's just do a little squat. And the arms are going to reach up. They're going to pull down. Reach up, pull down. Let's do a couple more. What's one thing you're going to do till the day you die? You're going to squat. You need those muscles to be strong. Get in and out of the car. Get on and off the toilet. Sit in a chair. Get in and out of your bed, right?
Yeah.
And let's do one more. Nice. And then let's take one foot forward and one back, and let's come into that warrior one. So your hands could be at your heart. Your hands could be opened up here. We're just going to open through the chest and really take some nice deep breaths into the chest. And 2 more breaths here. And then slowly bring it down. Let's turn on the feet, go the other way. So my back foot's 45 degrees, and I'm going to open up through the chest again. My hands could be here. I'm always going to work with the shoulders I showed up with. And last 2 breaths here. And then bringing it down. Let's go wide. Take it down. Reach it up. Take it down. And we're just going to drop as low into those legs as we can as we reach those knees back.
And this is one of those times where you can adjust. I know I've got the knees of a 98-year-old. So
you just do what feels good, right?
Yeah.
And one more. Good. Bring it in. All right. Now let's come back to the circle. Tell me if that feels better, worse, or the same.
It definitely feels a lot looser.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And the other direction. So in, 5 minutes or less, you can change how you're feeling. You can up your vibration. You can get blood flow in your body, blood flow to your brain, and you can really change how you step into your day.
Yeah.
And then just coming, I want you to anchor your feet. I want you to bring your hands together at your heart. Just lightly close your eyes if it feels good for you. And now just set your intention for your day. What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to feel like? And then give yourself a big hug, because you deserve that. And relax and shake it out. Nice stuff.
And as everybody will notice, I did this in my office in front of my desk with no equipment. No.
Exactly.
Adapted with the space that I had, did not have yoga pants on. I've got jeans. So that's fantastic. And yeah, I do feel just much more loose and proud of myself that I did something for my body today. I love that.
Exactly, right? And it's that simple.
Yeah. Karen says she has a little exercise area with her QB and 1 pound weights, and it's a little space to take care of herself. Yeah, you don't need a lot of space at all. I love that. Maria says, very nice. Erlan says, I need to watch this and do this every day. Wish I could save it on my phone. Well, I bet, Sherry, you probably have various things that are movements on your YouTube channel, right?
I do. I have some on my YouTube channel. It's actually called The Healing Place, and you can find it there. You
could probably connect through your website, maybe? Is it on your website?
Yes, I think so. Also, I have a Facebook group called Balanced Midlife Community. Balanced Midlife Community. So that is a community of women all in their midlife years, and we look at different things. And I do a physical, movement thing every week on that page, and I have a membership and stuff like that. But Yeah, so there's lots of opportunities there to move in on my YouTube channel. It's 5-10 minutes, 15.
Perfect. Yeah. So you do have it on your phone. As long as you've got YouTube, you've got it on your phone.
And that's right. That's right.
Plenty of places to find it. So Sherry, I mentioned that you have the free summit coming up, which is September 8th through 12th. And if anybody does want to register, like I said, it's free. The link is in the video description. Can you tell us a little bit about what people will learn from these short video interviews with all of these amazing women during Summit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is my third summit in total and my second Happy and Healthy in Midlife. And so I brought together 20 women, including myself. Susanna is one of them. And just beautiful. I learned so much there. It was just so fabulous. But what you learn is how to look at midlife through a different lens and a different perspective, that you're not alone, that there's lots of women going through what you're going through, that there are alternatives, holistic alternatives, movement alternatives. There are alternatives. How hormones play. We have Dr. Isabel Hunsinger. She's going to talk to us totally about hormones.
I need to watch that one for sure. My goodness.
Right? And so, the more we can understand what is happening to us in this time of our lives, the more empowered we become to make choices that are right for us.
And not feel as alone. Exactly. Because there's so many things. That's one thing that I talked to my stepdaughter about what I'm going through. And as she gets older, I'm going to be talking more, because that's something we never grew up hearing about. So all of these things happen. I'm like, just going to do what? Like, what? That, like, no, nobody told me this. I was not prepared. So hearing that other people are going through these things and successfully, and that there's ways to make it easier.
That's right. That's right. And we're changing the conversation, like you just said, that we're having with our younger generation. Like I said, when I went into menopause, I couldn't find anything. So when I had the opportunity to do a summit, I said, I'm doing Happy and Healthy in Midlife, because I literally would have done anything to find expertise like this in a free summit, for sure.
Right. It's like having 20 experts give you mini consultations, basically.
Exactly. And then they offer such beautiful freebies, you included, right? That people can jump on and grab and just explore. Yeah. And I think that that's fabulous. I have learned so much interviewing everyone. And, I interviewed Victoria Shaw last night, and she's merging. She has a PhD in psychology and psychology research with spirituality.
Oh, wow.
And really a fascinating look in. I talked to another woman in the UK, and she has done a book. She's a photographer. She has done a book of women who showed up to get their picture taken without their makeup on and to give their little story. And it's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It's just beautiful. This is
those are the inspiring stories we need to see
exactly
and this butterfly stage.
Exactly. And I mean, I work in weights, but I did have Dr. Maria Luque come in, whose specialty is weight strength training in menopause. That's what she's done all her PhD research on. And, so we're really bringing it all together. You'll get something out of it.
Yeah.
You'll get something out of it, for sure. For sure.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to be watching the whole thing, even though I'm one of the people, like, I'm so excited about it. So in the link, what is the letter after the dashes? That's an L, right? LTSYI, or is it an I?
Yes.
L. Okay. That's an L after, and that's true. It's hard to tell with, I have to change it to a capital, so it's easier to tell.
Yeah.
And then Erlan says, is the summit offered at a specific time of day? So tell them how it works with the videos.
Great question. Okay, so you register for the summit, and then starting September 8th, every morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It drops into your inbox with the links to the interviews for that day. There's 3 a day. You have 48 hours to watch those for free.
And they're short videos.
They are 30 minutes or under.
Right? Yeah. So these are things that you can fit into your lunch break or
while you're cooking, right? You don't always have to watch the video. You can listen.
Yeah.
And so that goes on. I will be live in the Balanced Midlife community as well. That's totally optional, but it comes into your inbox. You get to view it when it works for you.
Perfect. Yeah. I love that. And really quickly, I want to say hi to Karen. I organized with Karen back when I worked one-on-one with people in their homes, and we broke things down into small steps, and Karen did some amazing, amazing work. It's so good to see you. And happy early birthday, Karen. Your birthday's in a couple of days. I won't say exactly what day for, privacy, but happy early birthday, Karen. It's great to see your beautiful face. Nice. And Erlan says, great. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I wanted to thank you so, so much, Sherry. Definitely register for the free summit. Even if you can't watch every single video, even one video is going to be that much better for you because it'll move you along in a new way of thinking or give you an aha moment or something. Yeah. So definitely sign up for that. So just to recap, some of the highlights of what we talked about today was adding movement in to your daily routine is going to help on so many different levels. And it's a great way to just get started. And when you start small. This does not have to be a 30-minute or 1-hour gym or Pilates sessions. You don't have to have the right equipment. 5 minutes in whatever clothes you're wearing in the middle of your living room will work. You do not have to get everything set up. And just 5 or 10 minutes of movement or breath work is a great way to start. So whether it's a walk around the block or just standing and breathing. Also, find what feels good to you because we are all different. For me, I love the yin and the stretching and those relaxing moments of kind of meditation. But for some people, it might be a more active walk where you're doing the grateful walk, which I love. Yeah. And then imperfect action is better than no action. So 5 minutes of a walk and maybe not even in the best shoes is much better than not having done it at all.
Exactly.
And then I loved that you said you are creating the body that you will work with for the rest of your life. So what we do today is setting up how the rest of our lives is going to work, which I love, love, love. I know for me, I'm going to start adding in gratefulness walks. So let me know in the comments which of these tricks you plan to try out in your home and in your life. I would love to hear that. And then really quickly, if you wanted to visit Sherry's website and learn more about her or her Facebook group or her YouTube channel, stop by thehealingplace.studio, her website. The link is also in the video description. All of these links are in the video description. And then coming up, I wanted to just remind everybody starting October 1st, if you're not a member, a PATH member, then these Thursday Talk replays will be limited to only 30 days past. So past 30 days, you won't be able to check out the replays unless you're a PATH member. So heads up. We will be doing just myself. Sherry's not joining for the bonus session, but for my Pathfinders, we will be doing a more in-depth discussion on what we just talked about, how to break these things into small steps, how some of these different concepts also apply to our organizing, and how we can integrate both together. And we'll talk about that over in our bonus Thursday Talk session. So if you're not already a member, definitely check out the link in the description and join us because we always have bonus sessions and all sorts of other resources. And then coming up, we have for our Pathfinders, again, we have our group hikes, our August 27th and September 10th. That's where we hop in and work side by side together, getting stuff done. We also have in September starting a new office hours where you can pop in during that time for Pathfinders and ask questions live and get answers. Plus tonight, if you are not already registered, there is a webinar live with me at 6 p.m. Eastern time, Downsizing and Letting Go. So if you're trying to downsize or, get past the whole letting go process and be able to let go with more intentional thought, then please register. Stop by SuzannaKaye.com, click on store. And then finally, sign up for the summit. I know I'm going to. It's going to be Absolutely amazing. The link is in the video description as well. So really quickly, Deb says, thank you so much. You're so welcome, Deb. I'm glad you could join us. Karen says, grateful walk sounds so peaceful. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Rosila says, thank you, Susanna and Sherry, for today's talk. And Paula says, what a great kickstart to my day and healthier practices going forward in this chrysalis phase. Thank you so much, Susanna and Sherry. And Jeannie says, great. Oh, so good to have all of you here today. And most of all, thank you so much, Sherry.
Thank you.
Inspired me and excited me, and I cannot wait to take small steps and incorporate things back into my day I miss.
Nice. Thank you so much for having me, Susanna. It's been such a pleasure to show up and to share. Just beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to connecting even more. Absolutely. I love you all. Make today amazing. You got this, beautiful. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.